Good morning, Wrestling Inc. Welcome back to the Wrestling Inc. Daily. It is me, your managing editor of WrestlingInc.com, Nick Hausman, joined here as I am every Tuesday to get tickled, right? And now we can show it to him, right? Before we would just say it on the air, and it's like, oh, you're going to get tickled with some pro wrestling punditry. But no, now we can actually
show them the tickle.
Yeah, we could show them the tickle, right? Give a little tickle here.
Norman Smiley's big wiggle.
Yeah, big wiggle. Second City, Chicago's EJ Cameron. EJ, thank you very much for coming back to the Wrestling Inc. Daily.
Thank you for having me, man. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, well, we got Sherrod Jones here in the comment section saying, what's up, everybody? Hi, Sherrod. Welcome to the show. Very happy to have you here. And just like that, boom, we can bring you into the show. If you're watching us, you see a comment section, jump in said comment section. Let us know what you think about this show, what we're talking about, whatever it may be. We'll pull some of your comments in as we go along here on the screen, and you could be a part of what we're doing here today. Isn't that just wonderful?
I mean, look at it. It's interactive. We have the people with us. It's not just you and me on an island. It's everybody, a community.
Yes, a community. And, man, do we have a lot to get to here today? And speaking of community, I want to send a congratulations out to WWE superstar Mustafa Ali, his wife Uzma. They are expecting their next child in December of this year. Congratulations to Ali for welcoming more into our community. We need more offspring from Mustafa Ali. What a great man. You know?
Good on him, man. He's dope. Congrats. Yeah.
Great guy. Also, later on in this show, if you're listening to us in audio form, you know how it works. After the news, you're going to get to hear the audio of the day, an exclusive interview. Today, I'm going to have my conversation with Karrion Andrew, formerly Cameron in WWE and the Funkadactyls fame. She's got her new Born With It remix by Damon Sharp out. We're going to talk to her about what she's doing in the world of music, and we're going to talk a little bit about what she thinks about how WWE's booking Naomi at the moment, and a couple other odds and ends when it comes to the world of one Karrion Andrew in pro wrestling. So
that's great. Yeah.
It's really good. And it's in video form, too. So if you're watching us in video form, shortly after we wrap up here with the news, right at 1 o'clock Eastern, jump over to the Wrestling Inc. YouTube channel. You can watch Karrion and I talk as we premiere that video, and you can jump in the chat room and chat along as that comes out to the world. And lastly, at the end of the show, we're going to look ahead to SummerSlam. There's some rumored matches out there. We're going to find out which one most intrigued you. We'll talk about that at the end of the show, but let's dive right on into it. News you can use. News will leave a bruise. Some bruising, like office news, executive talk here to start the show. EJ,
we got a water cooler rumble.
Ooh, yeah. Multiple sources are reporting that USA Network officials were not happy with Fox getting the big Hell in a Cell match for the Universal title on Friday's SmackDown. The Matt Min podcast saying USA Network officials were unhappy the cell match took place on SmackDown. The Observer saying Fox officials aren't thrilled with Peacock constantly being promoted on their network either, which they see as a rival streaming service, which it is a rival streaming service, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any Fox streaming myself, but I'm sure the way that everything's been breaking down these days with every streaming service having their own, every channel having their own streaming service. Yeah. It looks like WWE's dipping in a little too many different companies' inks.
This is a lot of moving parts here. So NBC Universal obviously has no issue with Peacock being pushed on Raw, but they are not happy about the cell match being on Fox. The big issue here with the Mysterio Reigns bout had to do with NBC Universal's Peacock losing the match as it was nixed from the pay-per-view on Peacock and the WWE Network. NBC Universal, also the parent company of the USA Network, and as NBC Universal lost the match because it was pulled from the pay-per-view, Fox then picked it up. Ratings have been down, and the company is under some pressure to pick the ratings back up due to big money TV rights fees they receive from NBC and Fox, obviously. And it worked a little bit. Friday SmackDown up 5.2% from the week before. They did over 2 million on average, 2.045. So it did work in that regard. But, man, we're starting to finally see how this balancing act is playing out between NBC and Fox as WWE tries to appease both masters here, you know?
Yeah, and balancing act is I guess the right term to say, but it feels like it's unbalanced. It's like, oh no, I gotta go take care of my dad. uh-oh, I'm at my mom's next weekend. I got to go give them the same thing because now they're jealous. Like, at some point, something's going to give.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And Anthony Y here saying that, well, Fox is mad at WWE with working with NBC, then when the Fox deal is up, maybe WWE just keeps everything with NBC Universal. And that's really kind of what this all gets down to here, right? Like, who's going to be happiest when these contracts ended about the same time here, I think in 2 years. And in the meantime, like, I just think it's so interesting when like capitalism dictates art, right? Isn't that what this is?
Oh, definitely. Because at the end of the day, what's going to happen is WWE is going to say, go with whoever's going to give them more money.
Yeah, totally.
That's essentially what's going to happen. It's who's going to pay me more. And they're going to be like, well, you didn't deliver on your ratings. And hopefully they just both don't get to turn them down. They go, you're not worth it.
Well, and it's just so weird to me because, like, I think it's hard to argue Reigns and Mysterio wasn't the best match of what we can call Hell in a Cell weekend now, right? I mean, that was the best match of Hell in a Cell weekend. And I would, if I'm over on USA and I'm watching this over on Fox, I'm maybe a little salty about that as well. And maybe starts to get me thinking, like, what is the actual creative of Raw right now? Like, should I be salty in general about what I'm getting from my product on Monday nights?
Well, yeah, because I mean, we've been talking about it for weeks. SmackDown is far beyond a better wrestling show. You have Roman Reigns, who's the crown jewel. Personally, I enjoyed McIntyre Lashley the best, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But yeah, it delivered on the brutality I need in Hell in a Cell. But at some point, they're just dipping in each other's. I don't know.
Inkwells. Dipping in each other's inkwells, right?
Yeah, your booking shouldn't be because of the higher ups. It should be because of your booking and your storytelling.
Hey, well, not to be outdone, WWE said, whoa, no, wait, we also had a Hell in a Cell match planned for you. Of course, right?
Yeah.
It's like you got two girlfriends, like, baby, don't think I forgot about you, right? I bought you this. I brought you this tennis bracelet, right? Yeah.
It's the old sitcom trope where you go on a date at the same time, 2 dates, and you start mix matching and doing the same thing. You're like, no, this is it. Like, we're gonna see Lashley versus Mysterio next week, and we're gonna be like, wait, what happened? He's like, oh no, get out of here! You're not supposed to be here. And Ray's like, I don't know. You told me to be here. I'm here.
I love the idea of Vince McMahon as the Fonzie, right? The capitalist Fonzie, So
yeah.
So anyway, the tennis bracelet that WWE bought the Raw brand was
the Pandora bracelet.
We're getting a dog. That's a commitment, baby. Like, anyway, WWE had Bobby Lashley defeat Xavier Woods in Hell in a Cell, main evented. It set up what is going to now be Kofi Kingston versus Lashley at Money in the Bank. That was announced also on the show. I thought it was, I just, honestly, I was happy for Xavier Woods. I was like, good for you. You probably always wanted to get a cell match and told likely not to happen one-on-one, but he got one, And
in the main event with the champion. I mean, I don't know when was the last time he's been against, he's gone against like Randy Orton. But this meant something. It was super dope because I think a lot of people forget that he can go. It's more than just trombones and video games. The guy can fly around and he's strong as crap. Yeah.
Dude,
for example, was wrestling.
I remember when he was just Austin Creed in TNA, and like everyone was like, dude, this guy's awesome, and he came to WWE and he became kind of a bit player, but dude, yeah, he can go, man. And I was just so happy for him to get that chance. Even if the outcome seemed like a little predictable,
Oh, yeah. You go in knowing because I'm glad we're talking about this because when I was watching, I was like, wait, Xavier versus Lashley in a cell? Why? Then I said, man, he's going to kill him.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see it, but I'm like, he's going to kill him.
Dude, and has anyone ever wrestled 2 Hell in a Cell matches on back-to-back days? Does Lashley hold that honor now? Has he?
I feel like Stone Cold might have.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that. I'll have to double check. But I feel like when he lost to Kane in that first blood match, I feel like they ran it back the next night on some shenanigans. Maybe. Somebody in the comments let me know. But if not, then it's Lashley.
Go sleuthing. Yeah, go sleuthing, everybody. We would love that. So Samantha here saying, like sands through the hourglass, so are the WWE networks of our lives. just very funny. Yeah, how everything is kind of working itself out here. But man, we'll talk a little bit more about Raw here from last night. But I thought that the cell match was a lot. And again, just happy for Woods, right? So
yeah.
So we're talking about Hell in a Cell. I want to talk about this before we get to Raw. So the biggest story by far, I'm talking 5-1 traffic rate. Maybe not 5-1, maybe like 3-1 traffic rate. Most trafficked news item of the past 24 hours. WWE took some heat from fans on social media after the hand of a crew member hiding under the ring was caught on camera during Sunday night's Hell in a Cell main event, which saw Lashley retain over McIntyre. The crew member's hand could be seen coming under the ring after Lashley chokeslammed McIntyre from the apron through the table at ringside. Fans knocked the company for having McIntyre take the bump on what appeared to be padding and for having the crew member push the table pieces back around him. Now, first of all, I am not knocking them for using the pad. Whatever. This man has been bumping to silence for a year and a half, right?
I'm not. Did you see what his back looked like after the match from the kendo sticks? It's fine. I saw the hand too, and I said, huh. And I said, oh, they must have had a pad or whatever. And I said, okay. I don't want him to actually break his back for you fans.
What I think was so great about what I thought was so interesting about this was like, there's a person underneath the ring for the whole match, right?
Full time.
Full stop. There is a man under that job. His job is to be told to make the table wreckage look good after the table spot. That is decades of attention to detail, EJ, where you get to the point where it's like, I want the table to look a certain way when it breaks. Like, that's crazy.
It's crazy. Like, this one piece. I'm missing a piece. It's like an IKEA set. Yeah, I'm not mad at it. It just reminded me of when you go see a play and you see a stagehand that gets caught on stage real quick while they're scurrying off. It made me chuckle really quick. I get it. Yeah, he's supposed to go through the table. But listen, these guys, he's been doing bumps on top of ambulances and other crazy things. It's fine. The match was good enough that it didn't take away from me.
Sure. It's just a weird thing. Right. So anyway, everybody lighten up about the hand. Rocky Baya, the hand, Marco, Mae Young's kid. I also thought if you're going to try to build continuity here, it's just Mae Young's kid, the hand, lives under the ring with Hornswoggle or whatever.
Yeah. Hand Henry. World's strongest hand. Stage hand that moves the table pieces. Guys, we need to go make a t-shirt right now, Nick.
I'm surprised because Vince McMahon, I feel like, grew up on the Addams Family, right? Like, that seems of his era. Like, I'm sure that once he realized his Cousin It, right? Isn't that what the hand was called? Or no, Cousin It was the big fur ball.
It was the hairy one. The hand was
Thing. I think it was just Thing.
Yeah.
I think it was just Thing, the running around hand. I think what I'm getting at is, don't be surprised if the hand, now that Vince is like, God damn, this hand is getting so much attention.
Goddamn this hand.
Goddamn this hand, you know?
Whoever it was didn't get fired because of it. That's my concern. I hope that person did not lose their job. That's why I'm like, it's okay. It happens. We've all had a day at the office. Poor person was under the ring for a whole match.
Anthony, why the hand is a mystery. Who could it be? Dino Garofalo saying maybe the hand was Heath Slater. I'm a one-man hand. Maybe here. Wait, no. As we continue down the rabbit hole, Dino Garofalo. Maybe it was the same hand that threw the pie in Kevin Owens' face.
We need to figure this out. It's Big Hand Vader.
Big Hand Vader. Yes.
Stan Hansen. We got a lot.
I love the idea that Mae Young's hand child has just been like jumping in production trucks and like sneaking on the road, stayed with WWE. Maybe he did throw the pies. Maybe he's under the ring, you know?
Yeah, all the time. Do you remember, I feel like, 2 weeks ago, a random hand just gave Rey Mysterio a kendo stick? It's the hand.
The hand. Yeah. It's the hand. It would make for a great cartoon series as well, I think. The Adventures of WWE's Hand, you know.
The people that make the show happen, it's just a hand, the stage hands.
It's just like an Adult Swim gimmick, right? Like, this is good content, right?
The kids will eat it up. We'll throw some fart jokes in there. They'll love it.
Sure. All right, let me see. Is there any other hand-related material? Oh, we have Anthony Y, the Heartbreak Hand, also good. Alonzo Smith, the hand belonged to a ring crew guy who wasn't supposed to be on camera. Obviously, that's not very funny, right?
Thanks, Alonzo.
Anthony Y, though, good, though. Come get this hand. That's good. That's pretty funny.
Come get this hand.
By the way, there have been some nice things said. I've been about. Well, first of all, you got from Montez. He said he loved your Dragon Ball Z shirt, but then he also said he loved my shirt, my amazing shirt. You know, and then we have New York City Demon Diva here saying loving the shirt, Nick, and this is all good because Alfred Kunawa came on Friday and was wearing this fly floral yellow shirt, and that pushed me to go buy better clothes, and I'm looking for acceptance.
I know, and I do like dress up, and I'm like, okay, cool. Now I got to go pull out my Hawaiian shirts.
Dude, I know. It's not a
Tropical Tuesdays, baby. Tropical Tuesdays. That's not Hawaiian, but it is. I would say, you're going out. You're going to the boat or to a Jimmy Buffett concert, as I said earlier. It looks good.
Yeah. I'm gonna get wasted away at Margaritaville later. 100%. Yes.
Hey, Margaritaville.
That's it. And
you go, I'll be there.
I want to say the years of comedy you've done have perfected the art of the Nick Hausman impression. Like, that was spot on how I get, spinal work on point,
What do you mean comedy? That's just hanging out with you, man.
But it's done by an expert. Anyway.
It just tastes better.
Okay, anyway, this is all dumb. All right, moving forward. I did see somebody here bring up the Kross situation. I want to bring that up too before we get back to Raw, because I think this is maybe bigger news than anything that happened on Raw. I just have a lot of questions. I'm happy I'm going to get to talk to Waltman later for Pro Wrestling for Life about this, because this is just weird. NXT champion Karrion Kross, NXT North American champion Bronson Reed worked last night's main event tapings at the Yuengling Center before Raw. Reed took on Gulak. Kross took on Shelton Benjamin. Scarlett was not with Kross, but both NXT champions had their title belts with them. These matches are going to air this Thursday on Main Event, which is on Peacock. We noted last Friday how Kross, Scarlett, and Reed were also brought to SmackDown on Fox tapings to do dark matches so officials could get a look at them. And on that note, the Observer saying Scarlett is being considered for a main roster tryout later this week. There was talk of Scarlett receiving her own tryout this Friday, likely at SmackDown. No word yet on why she was not used in Kross's corner for Main Event. If Vince McMahon is thinking about breaking this duo up while they are the sitting top act in NXT, I mean, we just talked about hands, right? Maybe that's the left hand under the ring and the right hand has no idea what it's doing, right? Because the hands in WWE are not in simpatico at the moment.
Yeah, if that happens, it just proves that the man does not like peace. Things are going well. People like a thing. It works. So let me mess it up to see if it still works. Is a wild concept. Like, dude, what are you doing?
Dude,
like, it's going to bring them up. Let them be together. / let them be the champion.
I do not get this. Like, are they gonna break these two up? Like, this reads to me like we're testing the waters of how do these two acts work individually.
Yeah.
I am just really confused by this. Like, I don't understand why they would be doing that.
Yeah, I just Scarlett by herself. I mean, I'm sure she'll figure out and do well. I've seen them together so much that her character, their characters just work together. She's like an evil sorceress woman with an hourglass clock.
I mean, the only thing I could think, like, so Mary here, Al Kateri, I butchered that. Sorry, Mary Al Kateri. Are they really thinking of putting Kross on SmackDown? I've been hearing that Scarlett will most likely become a singles competitor. Any truth to those rumors? I don't know about putting Kross on SmackDown. I, again, would not separate these two. I mean, I guess if you want to make a case for like we're trying to flush out the women's division, we see the ability for Scarlett to break out. Kross, I mean, I guess doesn't need her to be the beast of a champion that he is down in NXT. I just don't think that. I think it's just another case of like if this is a route, and again, it's like we're testing the waters here, but I just feel like it's another case of taking what is working and just for whatever reason throwing it out the window and starting over. And I don't understand why that is the method there.
Yeah, it's like we get it. The sauce works. It's a tasty sauce. You don't gotta add it and do anything different to it. So I don't know. I remember there were rumblings of Orton and him tweeting each other, being like, "Can't wait to work with you," like some months ago. But I don't know who's going to be taking them suplexes.
I mean, Samantha here saying they split up Lana and Rusev. That's true.
That's why we're so like, oh God, they're doing it again.
Yeah, it's not like it's like, hey, they did that. Oh, that makes it okay, right? Like that's not exactly the direction that makes me want to go. I agree with Antonio here that it would be a huge mistake to break up Kross and Scarlett, and adding it would be a testament to how out of touch the old man is. I'm referring to Vince McMahon there. And yeah, man, like I think we're speaking the same language here because I hear all the time about the frustrations, from people in NXT about how that bridge goes to the main roster. There has to be continuity. Like the fact there is no, like, why even have a feeder system? Why even build up talent if you're going to like bring them in and do something completely different and mess with your audience's mind, right? Like
emphasis on do something different. Because you can't enjoy things. We got Piper Niven looking crazy. You're going to have Karrion. I don't know if she looks crazy, but why is she drop? Karrion Kross is probably going to show up and they're going to be like, now introducing Kross. That's just it. Kross. Like, no, give him a whole name and stop changing things, man. We're still like Keith Lee. After Keith Lee, I'm like, you know what? I'm good. Y'all, I don't trust y'all with NXT anymore.
Karrion. Sounds like a nerd. Kross.
That's it. That's how we'll get him.
So the Doudrop stuff, though, because it's not on the run sheet, and we're moving into Raw here. We're going to talk some Raw here in just a second. The Doudrop stuff. So like it seemed like she wanted to say Piper Niven, and then Eva cut her off, right, on Raw. Yeah. And then Eva gets pinned. Piper looks like she is kind of, outsmarted Eva. I can't believe that this was the story they had coming into week 2 of this, because you would think that you would want, if you're going to get behind these two or do the dynamic, whatever they were going to have, you wouldn't immediately start teasing some kind of break where the underdog is starting to outsmart the big dog of the relationship.
Yeah.
I just can't. I think they saw the blowback to the body shaming stuff and how they presented Piper and like, we got to present her stronger. And in the process, like threw out a lot of the work they did building up Eva over 8 weeks. In my opinion.
Yeah. Unless they do the old commedia trope. I don't know why I did quotes. It's really commedia, but what the trope of like the lackey outsmarts the person they work under all the time. They're smarter than them, but they have to kind of go along with their foils. Maybe, but that's me also giving WWE a lot of credit to dig into old Italian comedy tropes.
That's what Vince grew up on, though. Do what you know.
It's all plastic, baby. Yeah, I don't know.
That was obviously Vince didn't grow up in the time of commedia, right? I was just making a joke about how out of touch he is. Anyway.
No, he's lived forever. He's that.
So last night's show was based around the Money in the Bank qualifiers largely. We had Money Bank qualifiers and we had this Hell in a Cell match. On the men's side, we saw Ricochet, John Morrison, and Matt Riddle all qualify. The men that they beat, Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, and AJ Styles, they're going to have a triple threat match next week to determine, who's going to be somebody else added to this match. All underdog victories here, night of underdogs, pinning people, Randy Orton, McIntyre, AJ Styles, getting qualifications here. How did you think the men's side of the Money in the Bank part of Raw worked for you last night?
Fire. I loved it.
Yeah.
All these I love that you said underdogs, because in your head immediately, I'm like, oh yeah, I could totally see AJ Styles, Randy Orton, McIntyre in Money in the Bank easily. They've all held the big strap. But now that we have other people, Ricochet has a case because Brock Lesnar came and took him out of it. So there's that. He's going to jump off and do crazy things. Like if there's people I want to see in Money in the Bank, it's these type of people, because I feel like that's what it was built on when it was coming up. So keep it like that.
And I think Drew gets added to this. I mean, AJ's a tag champion. He doesn't need to be in the Money in the Bank picture right now. I don't see. I mean, as interesting as I think a Randy Orton Money in the Bank would be, I think you're right. I want to see some people that are going to be made by this match. They're going to either stand out in it or they're going to win this Money in the Bank. It's going to help propel them to the next level. There are no more levels left for Randy Orton. He has achieved nirvana in pro wrestling. So I don't really know where Money in the Bank takes Randy Orton from here.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing I'm wondering, because they're doing something with RK Bro. So that's the only reason why I could see Randy in it, just because him and Riddle can kind of patter off and do their own thing. But I don't see Orton being like, yeah, I want to do another ladder match.
I just think with Drew, I think you got to figure out a way to keep him in the title picture after the stipulation where he lost to Lashley and he can't compete on Raw. Give him a chance to move to SmackDown, maybe even a chance to go down to NXT, right? Like, I don't know. But, like, Drew needs to find something to keep him special right now, especially with the fans coming back. And I see Drew walking around with that Money in the Bank briefcase, building support behind the fans for that right moment. 3, 2, 1, Claymore, boom. You get him that big win in front of the fans that you wanted to give him, but for other reasons, like, it's not there in this moment right as we're coming back. You know,
but he's also a guy I don't think needs the briefcase.
No, I'm just saying from a point of view of just making him continue to look special and keep the main event picture, because there's other business that Roman and Lashley or Brock or whoever have to get to here. How do you keep McIntyre always kind of in the wings of the main event picture? That's why, to me, I can't shake it. I mean, I get that. I see a lot of people, making a case here for Randy, and it's a very good point you made about him and Riddle being in that match together. In my head, I just see Drew in this match. I see him potentially using this briefcase to keep himself relevant in the main event picture.
Yeah, because you know that he's just going to say, I'm crashing it in on this date. I'm not sneaking in. Freedom. And
yeah,
maybe say all of that.
maybe Roman Cena comes out, challenges Roman, and Drew's like, I want to be at the SummerSlam main event. Makes a triple threat or something like that.
Boom. Exactly, because of that stipulation, maybe the stipulation overrides the Money in the Bank, so he can only challenge SmackDown or NXT if he wins. Yeah. Which then give us Roman McIntyre again, baby.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. I'm about it. Well, also on the women's side of it, we saw Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. They beat Shayna and Nia to qualify for the women's Money in the Bank. A little bit of news for both of these women. First of all, I don't know if you saw all of the many GIFs or memes. Nikki Cross is now a superhero. She has not changed her name. She's just Nikki Cross superhero. And I believe that she is fueled by the power of positivity, is what I wrote down here. Yes?
So she has to join the New Day, right?
I don't know, man. She doesn't have New Day colors. And New Day, I don't know what's going on with New Day right now, I
don't think they're going to break them up. They're teasing it. I don't know. But the fact that we don't know, if she's powered by positivity, then she's got to be with somebody. She got to be throwing some pancakes somewhere. But good for Nikki.
Hey, look, so Killian Dane saying that he's really proud of Nikki and that this is something Nikki thought of and pitched and followed through on her own. So if Nikki Cross is going to use this and propel it and is happy and is excited to do this, great. I mean, Alonzo Smith here saying, Nikki Cross stole Holly's gimmick. I would be remiss if I did not look at Nikki Cross and the hand motions and the way she was moving and think this is maybe Molly Holly inspired. And look, Molly Holly
stolen a gimmick.
Yeah, whatever. Nobody's a superhero right now. Go be a superhero. Like, I see that and I see her, like I'm sure Vince does, and I'm like, cool, you're an action figure. I can sell this.
Yeah.
Right?
Putting t-shirts. People are probably going to get behind her and be all about her. The thing, my beef with it, I'm happy. If this is her choice, yay, great. But for the past, 2-3 weeks, she's been mixing it up in the main event, the women's main event. If anything, I thought she was teed up to get a championship, at least a contendership. She has a right to be like, hey, I beat Charlotte and Rhea Ripley the past 3 weeks. I should get a chance. No? Slap her cape on her. Fine. Send her out.
So wait, Asuka and Naomi also qualified for Money in the Bank, right? When they beat Piper and Doudrop. All right. I knew I was missing something on my run sheet here. Yeah.
Piper and Doudrop.
Well, I'm just saying that's her name, right? I'm supposed to call her Dewdrop now, right?
You ain't Dewdrop and Eva.
I used to talk about how much I love Dominic Dijakovic in NXT, and now I talk about what is going on with T-Bar on Raw. So,
Yo, T-Bar. Yeah, Asuka and Naomi are in it together.
mm-hmm.
They're doing a tag thing now, so cool.
Yeah. And on that note, Nubinco saying, I have a feeling that there's a storyline for Asuka because she didn't cash in the women's Money in the Bank briefcase. Maybe she can do it in front of fans. So wait, what happened with Asuka's briefcase? She just never cashed it in?
Was it like a trade-off with Becky, right?
Was it something like that?
Something like Becky was like, I'm going to have a baby. And she was like, here's a championship. And the briefcase disappeared.
Oh, that's right. She didn't have to use the briefcase to cash in. They just gave her the title.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because nobody was ready for Asuka.
Man, I mean, we talk about how Vince, thinks how short-term our memories are, but then that happens, and I'm like, yeah, I don't even remember that. I don't remember that. I guess that happened.
I'm over here like, I think it happened. I might have dreamed it.
So real quick on the and by the way, lastly here, so Alexa Bliss debuted a new entrance and theme song, very spooky, whatever, Alexa Bliss. But back to back to Kofi.
Ooga booga booga. Yeah, whatever.
I got a scary doll. All right. So Kofi and Lashley is now official for the pay-per-view. Now back to we have Bit Mulligan saying here, I hope they don't break up New Day, but Danny Cochran saying Woods has stated on their podcast recently he would love to turn heel. And I'm not really, I mean, Lashley Kofi does not feel like the end of the road for Lashley's title reign, right? If Woods cost Kofi that match and we got a little Kofi Woods kind of run, I mean, you in or you out? What do you think about doing something like that?
That'd be fire, but hear this one out. What if they both turn heel?
Oh. I don't know.
I'm only saying this because of them dressing like the Green Ranger and the White Ranger. And that dude, Tommy, was always going evil back and forth. And you have MVP planting the seeds. I could see them being like, you know what? We have been clapping and happy too long. Let's start kicking butts. But there's also a ton of heels on Monday Night Raw.
I was about to say, it just doesn't feel like the time right now to have a heel New Day, right? I don't know where you go with Kofi from here because they're just using him to warm up Drew and Bobby. That's what he's been the player for here. Woods is now kind of seemingly getting like more of a rub as a singles competitor. I mean, he just had a Hell in a Cell match, right? So maybe trying to position Woods is more on the level of Kofi Kingston, setting the seeds for these two kind of being at odds. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then that can get Woods into a title picture, a singles title picture. So I think he's the only one that hasn't, right?
I think so, yeah. I don't think he's had any. I think he's just tag gold. Yeah.
Yeah. So he has a case to be like, yo.
Hey, well, Samantha, you're saying Woods to the Hurt Business, and it would be very compelling, right? Her business is a little thin right now. It's just Bobby and MVP. That's not really a business. That's more of a partnership.
Yeah, but business is booming, baby.
The Hurt partnership doesn't really roll off the tongue, right?
The Hurt partnership.
I'm just saying for tax purposes, it's more of a partnership at this point. The Hurt LLC, I mean, maybe if you wanted to formalize it.
Hurt and Co.
Hurt and Co, right, sure. That's the name you trademark. We also have Antonio saying, I think that'll be good. Xavier decides to no longer be a clown, managed by MVP. And then, Montez, Woods will turn heel on his New Day brother. Man, people just piling in the chat room saying, seems like an inevitability Woods is going to turn on his buddy Kofi there.
And I mean, if there's anybody to get the heel heat on him, it would be to jump on Kofi. Everybody loves Kofi. Kofi is like, even when New Day was bad, Kofi was still a good guy. And they weren't bad. They were just annoying.
So, also, we found out Charlotte Flair is going to take on Rhea Ripley for the Raw Women's Championship at Money in the Bank. I almost feel like these two don't know what's happening right now with their feud, right?
They don't. Who's the heel in this one?
I think we are. I think because we don't enjoy it as much as we should, I think we're the bad guys, in their opinion. I'm not sure.
I like seeing them wrestle. Yes, like they're great. It's just they have a story that they're not using And I don't know what they're trying to make this story. Like, the beef has always been there for years. People always said Rhea looked like Charlotte, so now she looks a little punky. Charlotte beat her at last year's WrestleMania, so she has some sort of a beef there. Like, just say that. But they're just like punching each other and being like, all right, I could beat Nikki Cross in 2 minutes. What?
Like, I try to read the tea leaves and convince myself of where this is going. I have to believe that these two are just kind of in a holding pattern, waiting for Becky Lynch to come in and break this up and be the big baby faces fighting off these two heels and taking the title back. Maybe at Money in the Bank, maybe at SummerSlam. But this feels like they're setting the stage for Becky to come in and really have a big splash since there's so many heels up top.
Yeah, because for them to be running this match back, I feel like we've seen, I don't know why, it feels like we've been watching them wrestle each other for a long time. And we haven't. But it feels like it.
It has. It's been a while at this point. I feel like it's been like 3 months though, hasn't it?
It's been a while, probably.
Yeah, I think so. Lastly, here from Raw, next week's Raw is going to feature a strap match between Elias and Jackson Riker. Now, Raw featured a backstage segment where Riker, who was, by the way, just flagellating himself or whatever, right? Just like whipping him. He was just sitting there, just staring off into the abyss and just hitting himself. I guess like a good baby face does. And it featured him saying he was backstage. He announced the match to Mansoor, who went to Riker looking for advice because I'm sure, like many immigrant Americans, Riker seems like the right guy to ask advice to, right? Sure.
Just be like, hey, dude, what's gonna make it to where we're cool, right?
Learn to speak English. What, dude? I speak English. Come on.
Why did you? Come on, man. I thought we were cool. We have to ride together now.
I am fascinated to see how the Riker experiment plays out on the road, like in front of fans.
He was always, cold boogers on a plate for me. He has the size and all of that. He just doesn't do it for me. And unless they go with some Da Vinci Code, like super Christian worship where he's just whipping himself for like penance. But I don't know what else.
I just don't see, like, Raw's coming to Chicago in like a month and a half. And I don't see this guy rolling into Chicago and getting a hero's welcome. I feel like if him and Elias were in a ring, it would be a double turn. And Elias would be the babyface walking out of that match in front of a Chicago crowd.
Yeah, it's going to be live audience. Like, Elias needs a live crowd. Jackson Riker's going to come out there, and I'm going to boo him. I'm going to boo him so loud.
Maybe we'll boo together, EJ. Maybe we'll be side by side. Iron Med's just saying SMH. Yeah, shake my head. I agree with that one. Man,
I don't see no strap match with Jackson Riker.
So anyway, we'll see where it goes with Riker and Elias. But strap match next week, Riker Elias. Someone we're not going to see here for a little bit. Kevin Owens took to Twitter yesterday morning, issued the statement saying, "I fought like hell. Now I need a little break. I'll be back soon. Thank you guys." Of course, he lost to Sami Zayn at Hell in a Cell, a real hard fought bout. There have been some guys that just were troopers through this whole pandemic thing, and he's one of them. And if he needs he needs a little bit of time to go be a dad and rest his body up before getting back in front of fans. I don't blame him. Whatever.
Yeah, dude was ready to jump off of a pirate ship. Like, let him chill. That match, whoo, they were beating the mess out of each other, man. Yeah, he needs a break. Rest Kevin Owens. I can't see your tweets because I'm still blocked. But I hope you get the rest you deserve and get to be with your fan.
Well, former WWE superstar Mojo Rawley, he landed a role in the new Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins movie. As seen in the trailer, Rawley can be seen fighting actor Henry Golding, who plays the title character. The Snake Eyes film is set to be released in theaters on Friday, July 23rd, and it looks like the opening scene of the movie, and he just gets his ass kicked in like a prison, is what it looks like.
Yeah. I feel like that's what a lot of wrestlers who aren't like, The Rock or John Cena, they go into action movies to kind of be like the big muscle that gets beat up. But good for him. I hope he was a joy to work with on set. We've talked about his personality, how great he was, and he was always trying to grow and be better. So if this translates to being on film, yes, good for him.
All right, everybody. Well, that's going to bring us to the mailbag portion of the show. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you, EJ, for talking the news of the day. And thank you very much to Karrion Andrew there for that fantastic interview. Born This Way with the remix by Damon Sharp, now out on Spotify, all music platforms. Go support Karrion. And yeah, that's it. Just support her. Be nice. All right, at WInc Daily, WINC Daily over on Twitter. That's the account to follow. You want to find our daily polls. You want to vote. You want to let us know, you want to find out where the links are to different videos and stuff that we're doing each day, at WInc Daily, the account to follow. Today's poll question stems from a report here from at WrestleVotes saying WWE is looking at holding the first ever match between Seth Rollins and WWE Hall of Famer Edge later this summer. As we've reported, the working idea for SummerSlam's main event is to have John Cena work with Roman Reigns, and WWE officials want to load the SummerSlam card up. So I asked you all, of the rumored SummerSlam matches, which one most interests you? Is it Reigns Cena, Lashley Lesnar, or Rollins Edge? Almost 450 votes here in about an hour. 40.6% Lashley Lesnar, 37.2% Reigns Cena, and 20.1% Rollins Edge. What's the match you want to see, and what do you think of Rollins Edge?
Who, me? Well, I think I would love to write in psych Lashley Lesnar. All right. I commented that I've been waiting. As soon as Lashley showed up to the WWE years ago, I was like, I want to see him versus Lesnar. It's been talked about. Lashley wants it super bad. It makes sense that these two big giant men just slam at each other. That's also into MMA. Mm-hmm. We haven't seen the match before. It's their first time. It's King Kong, Godzilla, all the monster battles you want to see. That's it. Mm-hmm. That's what we want to see. And that's what I need to see.
Yep, I voted Lesnar, Lashley as well. But, man, really kind of a good sign for the SummerSlam card if all three matches did better than 20%. And, like, the top two bouts were pretty close there, right? I mean, that seems to, like, you're building to a card that fans seem to be, engaged by, right?
Oh, yeah, SummerSlam is my favorite pay-per-view event. I know I was a little peeved. Not peeved. When I voted earlier, Reigns Cena was ahead. And I was like, I've already seen this. Get out of here. But I'm super glad that it got a lot of the votes. SummerSlam's going to be big. I think that's going to be the big match. That even if the little bit you know about wrestling, if you're not a super fan, that's going to draw you in.
Yeah, I'm going to jump into the comment section here, read some of those in just a second. But before we get to also the comments on Twitter, Rollins Edge, I just want to say, really compelling dynamic, in my opinion, just because Rollins is just so definitively a heel right now, really needs the right dancing partner at the moment. If they just bring back underdog, looking for that one more big shot, Edge, don't try to mess with him too much, kind of like they did going into WrestleMania season. That's a really good dynamic, and I think we could see a side of Rollins that we haven't seen in a while. I think this is a very good chance to bring the best out in Rollins.
Especially promo-wise, he's going to be under the learning tree of Edge, the ultimate opportunist, and that Seth is kind of like the 2.0 version of. If they do go against each other, the only thing is I want to know what the story is going to be, what the beef is. I hope they're just not like, all right, we're going to fight each other now. I want there to be a good story for them, so it's not just a match for the sake of having the match.
We have at 6rings9880 Reginald versus Bliss in a hypnotized match with Super Nikki Cross as the enforcer. Loser is put through a table by Nia, bitten by Shayna, and then made to puke black goo on 205 Live while the pig doll laughs.
I forgot about Shayna biting.
Yeah,
that was her debut. I truly forgot about that.
Not convinced. Yeah.
You thought she was a vampire.
I still think she's a vampire.
We've never seen her in day, so
I still think she's a vampire. What do you want me to say? So anyway. At Action Maniac, Reigns versus Cena from a story standpoint due to their history makes it the most exciting match. Reigns vastly appeared improved since their last meeting and feels like a huge deal. Hopefully Reigns gets the Rock at WrestleMania 38. These matches will ascend Reigns even more. Yes, we are on the build there. At Mark Red Believer, Lashley versus Lesnar isn't actually a rumor coming from WWE sources, but I want it. And that's true. I haven't really seen it rumored by any legitimate outlets yet, but it feels like something that we're building to with the work between MVP, Heyman, and Lashley right now. I'm just kind of putting my own pieces together.
Oh, yeah. And Lashley hasn't been shy about it. Every interview with Lashley is, I want Lesnar. I want Lesnar. And he's the champion. And if Lesnar wants to come back, Lesnar's not going to fight Gulak in an opening bout. It's going to be for the championship. One of them.
Mm-hmm. Also here, I'll just say DM Hess, Cena Reigns, at Triforce Anthony, Rollins Edge, at that Chris Chase, Cena Roman, at Leclerc 1995. Rollins is my fave, but Lashley Lesnar, that's a dream match. And we have over here, Anthony Y said that should be good with having Edge versus Rollins. Then Montez said, shut up, Anthony. I love you. Edge could do better. Montez, that's not how we like to talk, right? We don't tell each other shut up, right? Some more positive space than that, Montez. If you think Edge could do better, that's fine. Just be respectful. Let's be nice to one another here. Love one another.
Yeah. Yeah. Positivity. We get Super Nikki on you. And also, if you think he could do better, who would you have him go against? Because I'm like, I like Rollins and I like Edge. I just don't know who they are together or why. So, yeah.
Lastly, here I'll just throw in from Montez, by the way. What about gender? And EJ, that is a good thing to wrap up on here. What is hindering gender right now? Why is he backstage doing things but not wrestling? I don't get it.
Maybe they're saving him for live crowds.
Sure.
Yeah. Why is he not in Money in the Bank?
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe he's the hand.
Maybe gender was the hand, and that's what brings it back to the end here. All right, well, that's going to wrap us up for today. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Tomorrow, I'm going to get to release upon you one of my favorite conversations I've had in recent memory with the one and only, the legendary pro wrestling journalist, Bill Apter. Bill and I, we are idiots for 20 minutes or so. We talk some wrestling. I really hope you enjoy this interview. If you like the Wrestling Inc. Daily, support WrestlingInc.com. We're on all your favorite socials, and the Wrestling Inc. podcast goes live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, weekends after pay-per-views, and you can subscribe to that on your preferred podcast platform as well. EJ, what do you want to plug put over here to wrap up the show today?
Keep being good people. Be nice to each other, especially in the chat, in the comments. You can follow me at EJ_Cam19. Instagram, I'm Easy Jesus. Once you start typing in like 4 E's, you'll find me. I'm at Second City doing stuff. I'm floating around, being a cool guy, loving life, washing my hands still, trying to be a positive person.
Yeah, dude. Appreciate that. I appreciate that. I am doing the same thing. I'm going to go get wasted away in Margaritaville around 5 or 6 o'clock here tonight when I get the chance. Maybe we can do it together sometime this week, EJ. That would be nice.
Free for the day.
You're done for the day? I'll hit you up when I'm done.
Yeah. All right, bet.
Maybe we'll go down to the sweet spot. All right. Why'd you make that seem so weird?
I don't know. You said sweet spot, and we both said, and now I'm like, well, now I'm like, what is the sweet spot?
Yeah.
Mukbang happens.
The real mukbang up in here for sure. I'm gonna mukbang you later. I don't think I used that word right. Anyway, so I am Nick_Hausman over on Twitter. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I will talk to you soon. And remember, I'll talk to you tomorrow. And remember, if you winked, you did not miss it. Bye.